Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Hold your power.
I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism, and with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. You will fail at some point in your life, accept it. You will lose. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. You will embarrass yourself, you will suck at something. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. I didn't quit. I prayed. I prayed. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. Come on in. First of all, you guys, today is what? Today is Wednesday, the 16th. It's gotta be today Wednesday, right? Yeah. Today's Wednesday, the 16th. Thank God, because I don't have to work today. Hey, I want to say hello to everybody that came in the chat today. You guys, we're going to have a little conversation. Yeah, I'm glad Zan is in the building because, I had to get me some sleep today. And, hey, Tina, thank you. Tina Powers, first one coming in. She said hello to everybody. C6 Banks was next. Freddie Johnson in the building. She's number 3. Zena, number 4. Phyllis, number 5. Phyllis D. Hart. Karen, number 6. Monique, number 7. Okay. Woke to God, number 8. Ruby, turn it, number 9. And then we got Karen, number 10. Thank you guys for showing on up. Coming on in here. Thank you guys. SP, could you check your text? I sent you something on Codi, baby. When did you send it? Because you must have just sent it. Because she sent it at 4:26. Nope. Somebody say, how are you doing? No, that's somebody else. No. Okay, you sent it this morning. Okay. Let's see. Tina, she said I sent it this morning. Okay. I've been on this phone. Let me see. Let's see.
Charges against Codi Bigsby, the man convicted of murdering. The death toll in the catastrophic roof collapse at a nightclub.
Hold on. Well, you just messed up my video. Okay. Shit, girl. Hold on. People want to call and text now. As soon as we go on live. And video show moments of the... What? I just had it. Let's see here. I don't know what. I just had it and it was playing, and for some reason it went to something else. I don't know why that thing does that. So we're talking about the Naziah Harris case today, you guys. I can't pull it up, Tina, because when you sent it again, it's showing me something totally different. For some reason, it's showing me something different. It's weird. My thing does stupid stuff like that. Yeah, it shows me something totally different now. So we can't get off into that. Yeah, I see you sent it this morning. It did start telling me that, but then when you sent it again, now it shows me something totally different.
The Hampton Commonwealth's Attorney's Office is asking a court to set aside abuse charges against Codi Bigsby, the man convicted of murdering his 3-year-old son, Codi. Bigsby is currently serving 45 years in prison for murdering his son and concealing the body. He was set to stand trial this summer on separate child abuse charges, according to a motion requested by the Hampton Commonwealth's Attorney's Office and provided to 13 News Now by Bigsby's attorney, Amina Matheny Willard. Prosecutors want the charges null pros to allow 2 children, both witnesses in the case, to continue counseling and therapy before a jury trial.
So Codi Bigsby won't be prosecuted for more child abuse charges. Let's try to hear it again. Please don't send it to me again. It'll mess it up. Hey, what was that? Pisces Princess?
The Hampton Commonwealth's Attorney's Office is asking a court to set aside child abuse charges against Codi Bigsby, the man convicted of murdering his 3-year-old son, Codi. Bigsby is currently serving 45 years in prison for murdering his son and concealing the body. He was set to stand trial this summer on separate child abuse charges, according to a motion requested by the Hampton Commonwealth's Attorney's Office and provided to 13 News Now by Bigsby's attorney, Avina Matheny Willard. Prosecutors want the charges null pros to allow 2 children, both witnesses in the case, to continue counseling and therapy before a jury trial.
Well, the funny thing about it is they got this title, Codi Bigsby won't be prosecuted for more child abuse charges. I don't know. That's not what they said here. They said they filed a motion. That doesn't mean he won't, but they did say the attorneys may want to do that also. So maybe, I don't know. Anyway, you guys, I want to talk about Jarvis and King. We ran into a dead end today. Well, we thought we had something to bring you. I couldn't wait to get off work. This morning, got off work, was feeling all right. Couldn't really work on it last night while I was at work because I was dealing with, learning some new apps and stuff that never was sent to me while I was at work. So now, they want me to learn it all in an hour. So I went to work yesterday an hour early so they can tell me what they want me to do, which, okay, you want to give me 2 months of training in 1 hour, but that's okay. I worked on it all night, figured it out. I believe I did very well. I didn't get a call this morning or nobody said, hey, just back off, leave her alone or whatever. I don't know. I think I did pretty good. But anywho's, so we had something yesterday and Zan and I worked on it, and we juggled it between each other, and we was like, man, hey, I was bringing it, and Zan was like, okay, we were researching, things was coming together, the puzzle was coming together. Hey, Sanja, how you doing? Hey, Freddie, how you doing? Hey, Zena. And it just so happened, you guys. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Selena, how you doing? You're 6 minutes behind. You're not that bad, Selena. We just came on. And so, anywho's, we ran into, when I woke up, I said, well, let me reach out to some of the resources that we got and to make sure that this information that we have is legit. Because I know people come on here and they get something, they just take off running. Like kids with money in their pocket. You give them some money in their pocket, Mama, can we go to the store? Mama, can we go to the store? And every time they turn around, they want to go to the store. They want to spend it. And then they spend it. They spend it all in one day. They don't keep nothing. They don't save nothing. They don't put two together or nothing to make something out of it. So over here, we do try to double check and recheck to make sure, because, you'll mess up. We try. We do double check to see if the information that we got is true or if the information we got is legit. And like I said, everything was fitting like a puzzle. We was like, wow. Zen was working with me on it. We both had to step back from the information we got on Naziah. We're talking about the Naziah Harris case. And, trying to see if it was so. Anywho, we ran into a dead end. I hadn't even called Zan back and said, nope, abort that information. Abort that information, because the people that we were looking to get a hold of, it was not the right people. And I know a lot of cases, people come on and they'll throw it on out there anyway. And so after, like I said, I was saving it, and then I was going to come on later on and share with you guys and go, hey, you guys, guess what? I mean, I didn't even have to be prepared already. Only thing I had to do was get up and let's go. Come on, y'all, let's go. We was going to put out a commercial video. That's how strong this evidence was. We was going to put out a commercial video to let everybody know to get their butts in here. We got it. We got it fresh. We're the first. We got exclusives. We know now. We know. And I reached out to this one of the resources that had contacted me, and I slung her some information, some pictures and some information, and she was like, what? Who's that? I was like, oh, hold on. Abort. What you mean, who's that? You know what I'm saying? And they was like, no, SP, no, you barking up the wrong tree there, So that was kind of a little bit disappointing, because had it been what we thought, we would have had all our answers. Not, So anyway, because it was like an eye opener. We were Zan and I, even though Zan is way up there in Philadelphia and I'm up here in Kansas or down here in Kansas, it was kind of like we were just looking at each other like, ooh, this is hot, So, because I had to take it to somebody and say, hey, what do you think about this? And some of you guys stay up late at night and some of you guys don't. So don't feel some kind of way if I didn't bring it to you or whatever. Sometimes I bring it to Zan a lot more because she's up all through the night just like I am. But sometimes I don't bring it to her either because she gives me a lot of push, but sometimes I like that push. I have to have it, because I will take it there. And she'd be like, pump your brakes, little girl, pump your brakes. That don't make sense. I said, I don't care. I don't know, you guys. I've just been feeling like this baby girl is mine. And somebody's finna get the business. Like, no, you're going to tell me. You're going to talk to me. You're going to tell me what happened. You're going to tell me where she is. You're going to tell me something. You're not going to sit there and be like, and sometimes I do get a little agitated, and people, they figure it out. They be like, oh, you just hard-headed. You aggressive. You guys know I'm not aggressive, but when it comes to these kids, I am. I am. I just, I'm gonna wear that title. I think I am like I don't take no for an answer, and that's what you need to have. I can't just be, oh, SP, you're so nice. Sometimes I do have to be aggressive and call people 50 million times and bug them and just say, just talk to me. Just talk to me. Just, if you don't have nothing to hide, just talk to me. Just tell me. You know what I'm saying? If you guys understand what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat. Because, and I told the person that was my resource, it wasn't like a resource, but she could fact check some of the information that I had, which was what I need down there in Detroit. Because people acting like this is a freaking game. And like I told her, I said, oh, you wouldn't be thinking I'm reaching or searching or fishing if it was your child, your grandchild, your baby, your daughter, your son, your grandchild. You wouldn't be mad at me then. You wouldn't be telling me to shut up then, or, oh, you know how people live. You'd be like, shoot, yeah, call them again. So the funny thing about it is, like, and we don't understand it. We be like, why is it that we, as the community, whether you in Detroit or not, feel this way? We feel this way because one of ours been violated to the max. You guys, if you guys don't understand what that mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we just sitting by, just letting whether it's your child or not? Here you got two grown men picking up this child, and the whole entire time, this child really think that, I don't care how grown she thinks she was. I don't care if she was a little loose. Because they groomed her to all of that. They really did. She couldn't have done it by herself. She don't know. I don't care if she's 13. Yeah, they get a little hard-headed, but you got to look at that is the end result of how she been raised. Period, point blank. You can't blame that little girl. And yeah, I do know sometimes little girls take on their own because of the people that they run around with. But you know what I'm saying? And I do know that because I raised two girls, which I didn't want to, but that's what I had to do. And yeah, one, get pregnant early. The other one, I was trying to keep them from not getting pregnant. I was keeping them from all these grown men. Shoot, I will come with my GUN. Huh? And they be like, see, I'm about that. Because those are my babies. I'm ready to go to jail. I'll risk it all. And, so people not understanding, just like, anytime that a young lady, knowing that they are innocent, like, they're young ladies and they do have a mind of their own, you guys. They don't know what they're opening up when they're dancing and prancing around in these leggings, gapping their legs, sitting on people's laps, trying to get a little bit of attention or whatever. And one thing I'm gonna have to tell you guys, and if you don't know, you already know, you done raise your kids, and maybe some of it's too late for your kids, but you got grandkids. Give them all the attention in the world. Give them that attention. People be like, oh, SP, your grandson. You be like, I stop. Hey, y'all, I gotta go because I'm giving them my attention. My daughter calls, hey, you guys, I gotta go. My son called, hey, you guys, I gotta go. I'm giving them that attention. I don't want the world to give them the attention that they looking for. Hey, mama, I just called you. You know what? I don't care who I'm talking to. As long as I ain't talking to the Lord, because I tell my kids, when I'm talking to the Lord, y'all go sit down somewhere. Because that's who I'm giving my attention to. I'm giving it to the Lord. And y'all need to know that you go sit down somewhere. Quit, bringing up havoc every time when I want to pray, or I'm in the house and I could be feeling the spirit, and I'll be dancing and I'll be singing, and sometimes I just cry. Sometimes I just be silent. I just moan. Sometimes I ain't even got the words. Because I'm going to tell you guys what I see. It ain't got nothing to do. Yeah, it does. I guess it does. It's the world. But if you guys only knew really how horrible this world is coming to when it comes to the kids. And I can care less about these grown folks. I really can. So when somebody tell me, oh, they don't want to talk. Oh, don't run them in the mud. Don't drag them down. You know what? Leave me alone. They grown. If you're not going to come giving me the information I need, don't call me. Do not call me because I don't have mercy. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to expose. I'm here to try to find a child, a baby, or whatever. And whoever did something, so it won't happen again. So everybody goes to jail that put their hands on this child that's protecting. And I know that, Jarvis is somebody's child and somebody's brother and everything. But just like we got to start supporting the truth, you guys, and not people. See, and the Bible tells you about that. Matter of fact, if you love your kids and you love, your mama and your daddy more than you love God, because God is true, you might as well hang it up, because you can only serve one master. Did I make myself clear? I'm just trying to tell you guys the truth. So don't come to me talking about somebody is a good person. You only know them from what you know. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody makes mistakes. And we do. I do. You do. We all make mistakes. But there's certain things we were taught when we was older not to do. Kids are off limit, period. And you're going to have to teach your kids to don't do that. Teach your grandkids, don't do that. What are you looking at that child for? I don't care. What are you looking at that baby for? Don't touch her like that. Don't even be around her. Matter of fact, my kids would have, let me tell you something. When I was raising my kids, I didn't trust people. I didn't trust people around my purse. So if I left my purse in one room, I don't care if it's my kids. I don't care if it's my brother. I don't care if it's my mother. I'll go get my purse. I sit it right next to me, or I'll come in the door, grab my purse and go put it up or something. I can feel when people's looking at something or waiting for me to move or whatever, or waiting for me to go to sleep. I can feel it. I can feel it. And I'll get up. And that's when you move things around, lock things up. I don't know. People be like, oh, that's a discernment, you guys. That's a discernment. That's saying, look here. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, I just don't have it for people that's on crackheads. But it's almost that same feeling when you know for a fact that somebody's on crack and they at your house and you were like, they's like, can I get a glass of water? And you be like, sure. And you get up, and as soon as you go in the kitchen, you be like, dang, I left my purse on the couch. You have that feeling. You just be like, let me go back in there. Let me stop. Let me go grab my purse. Let me act like I'm finna get me some lip balm, put it on, and then take my purse in the other room or whatever. You have that feeling, right? You guys understand what I'm saying? I have that feeling a lot. Not just with crackheads. I have feelings with when people, I have that feeling. You don't have to say anything to me. Just be in my presence, and I have that feeling. I have the feeling of what you will do and what you won't do. Whether you can sit there and deny it all you want. But your spirit tells me, if you get up from this table and not pick up your wallet, you're going to have problems. You guys understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to Jarvis and Naziah, I have a feeling about King. And I have talked to somebody that is very close to King. And they deny it. They deny, oh no, King, no. No, King not like that, SP. King not like that. I never known him to be, no. King not like that. And I said, the devil is a lie. I don't have to be in front of this man. First of all, let me tell you why I have a problem with King. And you guys, it should be evident to you guys too. First of all, when King got on that stand, King said, they was like, do you see Jarvis butts in the courtroom. You know what King said? Put it in the chat, you guys. Put it in the chat. I couldn't believe he even said it. He stood up. They told him to stand up and look. They couldn't even believe what was coming out of his mouth. He basically was telling them he's going to be on this stand and he ain't going to tell you right then. The first thing came out of his mouth is nope. That's right. He said, nope, I don't see him. Who couldn't see him? See, I got okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. You've been working with this man. Y'all talk, y'all work back to back. Y'all work, you know him when he called. Y'all been driving, riding around. Y'all dating same women. You don't see him in the courtroom. He lied more than twice, Tina. He lied more than twice. But you're right. That was the first lie. Let me tell you something. People start off lying, they got to end up lying, right? So I'm like, okay, everybody in the courtroom know who Jarvis is, know what he looked like. He can cut his hair off bald. We will still know him. He can put a mask across his whole face, not just on his mouth, his nose, his eyeballs, and he can stand there with a mask on. And we will still know that's Jarvis. We will know. We will identify him in a lineup. This man sitting there in court, as big as nothing, and lie in everybody's face. Nope, don't see him. See, you got to remember, the grandmother tried to do the same thing. And then she was like, oh, my daughter got my glasses. They was like, go get the daughter to get them glasses. Because it's very important for you to identify the person that you are accusing. That the state of Michigan is accusing. Because it's a Michigan versus versus Jarvis Butts. So Michigan state, the prosecutors got to make sure we are accusing the person that's in front of everybody. That's very important. So then, that's the first thing he said. He was like, no, he's not in here. He didn't say he's not in here. He says, no, we don't see him. No, I don't see him. No, I don't see him. And I was like, oh my, you coming off really bad. Right at the beginning, you're coming off bad. Horrible. So then they ask him some questions, and then he turns around and he says, well, they was like, tell us about your day, how your day went. And he was like, well, we was at the shop. We was working on this red jack. And I called AutoZone to see if they have this water pump. And they did. So we went to go get this water pump. Now, they do got a shop. See, you got to mix the lie with the truth. They do got a shop. They do work on cars, but they do petty stuff. They do little minor stuff like, they might fix your tire. They might fix the brakes or something. They might change your oil. They might put some spark plugs in, give you a tune-up, put some filters on. But hold on. This man said a water pump. Now, is this the same man? Now, hold on. Talia, how you doing? Talia's in the building. She's from Ypsilanti. Much love. Man, how you doing? Nice to see you in the building. Talia. Anywho's, you guys. He turns around and say they went to go get this water pump. Now, these are, I wouldn't even call them shade tree mechanics, because a shade tree mechanic can do a lot of stuff. But these boys are not that inquisitive when it comes to a vehicle car. Now, I'm not saying that they can't do, something, but a water pump, okay, hold on. So the next thing he says, they went to go get this water pump. Now, I'm not going to pull up the map and say this is where they were at. They passed this, they passed that. I don't know. They had the car for 4 or 5 days because the young lady came on and she said her name was Talacia or whatever, Talay. She said they had the car somewhere around about January the 4th, the 5th or something of that nature. I don't know if that's true. I just don't know. I don't know who in the world, I don't care if you kin to them or not, would give these two Stooges a Jag to work on. I just don't know. I just can't even understand it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, I had luxury cars before, Lexus, Jags, Mercedes, Escalades, Cadillacs. I've always loved the Cadillacs and all of that. So at the end of the day, who would have their car towed to this tire and oil shop to have a water pump fix is beyond my understanding. That's like me telling them to go put in a full engine or transmission and I go to Jiffy Lube. That doesn't even make sense because they don't do that type of work. So, okay, so they got the car. That's what her testimony was. They had the car for 4 to 5 days. Okay? So King was supposed to go and pick up this part at AutoZone. Now, he said he called AutoZone. They got the part in, so they're going to go pick up this part. So they go pick up the part, and as they was driving, they realized they forgot something. Now, it is very weird how Jarvis and Naziah had already set up a time and a certain place for Jarvis to be at 3 o'clock. And they just, you know what? It's just divine intervention. They just so happen to be right there when she got off the bus. Well, not exactly where she got off the bus. She had to walk a little bit because where she gets off the bus at, somebody can see her being picked up there. So she walked up the street a little bit, but they seen her. And it just so happened that, they had forgot something at the shop. So what King has done is take himself out the whole equation. King takes himself out the whole equation because had King say, oh, Jarvis told me that we was going to pick up his niece, he would be a part of the equation. He would be a part of the plan, of the premeditation part. So, of course, King lied and said, we forgot a part, so we had to go back. That's the second lie. So you done lied 2 times. The first lie was you said he didn't see Jarvis in the courtroom. The second lie is he said that they forgot a part. And that gives you the answer to the equation. Why was y'all there? Oh, we wasn't nowhere. It just so happened that we forgot a part And that's why we had to go back. So if you guys bring up a camera showing that we were going to the left or to the right, or we were going westbound, and then now we're going eastbound, and then you see us going westbound again and eastbound, that here's the reason why you've seen that. Because we forgot a part. We wasn't looking for no little girl. The reason why we was on that street is because we forgot a part. And you seen us 2 times going by. But King and Jarvis was looking for Naziah. You can't tell me nothing different. Everybody in agreement with that. If you're not, that's fine. You don't have to be in agreement with it, but that's what it is. Period, point blank. Okay? You're not going to get me to believe anything else. It wasn't because you forgot a part. It wasn't because it was just the, divine intervention that y'all was at that corner at that particular time on that day, and you just so happen to see Naziah. See, we need to get out of all of that, giving people the benefit of the doubt when the only thing they doing is lying. They just lying. Give us a thumbs up, you guys, if you're in the chat, and if you're not a part of the family, you can subscribe to the channel. We've been coming on. We've been following this case. We're trying to make sense into it. We're trying to talk to some of the people that has something to do with the case. And only thing that no. I'm not even going to get off track. I'm not going to get off track. And I, you know what, you guys? So they forgot a part. Forgotten. I'm going to write that down. So then he turns around and say they were at the shop. Now they were at the shop that he said they stopped at Angels and got some liquor, or they pulled over to Angels and got liquor or whatever. We don't know if they got Angel liquor, because if you guys don't know, Jarvis lives with a woman named Angel. That's his main woman. That's where he lives at. I'm not putting out people addresses, but I'm just telling y'all the truth. So all these girlfriends and baby mamas and fiancés and side chicks and all this other stuff that y'all been seeing, you ain't even seen Angel. You ain't heard a word from Angel. Angel ain't said nothing. Matter of fact, they went in Angel's house and they raided the whole house, found guns, knives, all kind of stuff at Angel's house. Now, all these content creators is getting people like, people that ain't even got nothing to do with the case. The only thing they can sit back and be like, I ain't did this and I ain't did that and da. I want to talk to Angel. I want to talk to the people in that town, Itsy Annie. I want to talk to them. And they are running and hiding. For what? If you ain't did nothing, you telling the truth, talk to me, because I'm going to get a feeling. I'm going to get a feeling the minute that you say something, if it don't make sense. And I just, it's like that. Now, you might have the days off, or you might whatever, or you really wasn't there, or you trying to help somebody out. But don't get twisted. Because if we get to barking really loud and opening up all these cans and you lying, you might get some charges. She said, Yipsy Tucky for sure. Tilla. Talia. I think that's Talia. Small country town, city meets country. Do you know these people in your town? Do you know Talacia Moore, she's not from there. She's from Mississippi. If people want to find her, see what I'm saying? They come over here because we get it. We I wonder why she got on the stand and said it was daytime when they came and it was daytime at night. That don't even make sense to me. Why would she say that? I just don't think either she lied willingly or she just really was not there. You're not familiar. The smallest town you guys have, and you're not familiar. And you from there. You from there, right? Okay. I hear you. But everybody there know everybody. I'm over off Textile, quiet part of town. Quiet part of town. Yeah, but everybody know everybody. I know more about that family than everybody. You know? I know her father passed. I know that, the girl come from Mississippi. I know a lot. I've talked to a lot of people down there. I talked to 3. And like I said, you guys, Talacia Moore, that's her mother's house. So when they was asking her, like, oh, your mother was there? Of course her mother was there. That's her mother's house. That was her mother's car, the grandma. And I say the grandma to her kids, not saying grandma as far as she just, But anyway, King also said she got in the car, she sat behind him, and she said, hey, this is SP. Hey.
Hi, Miss P. It's Talia.
Hey, Talia, what's going on?
I just want you to know, I'm from Ipsy here, but I live on the quiet part of town. So over here where I am, I'm off of almost near 94.
Okay.
So, I don't know the individuals. I know the story. I go to work every day, live my life. I come right back here in this house with my partner.
You in that town? Okay. What kind of work do you do?
I'm in culinary.
So you do a lot of cooking.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. But over here, see on Bridge Road, that's where they all fish. Over here on Bridge Road, you find about 50 of them standing over here over the bridge, fishing, catching fish, crap like that by Ford Lake.
Y'all got 4 lakes over there.
Ford, F-O-R-D.
Ford Lake. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ford Lake. But where we stay is behind the Ford plant, so it's quiet over here. I don't get to the inner city part.
Oh, you don't?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So I wouldn't know them. I follow the stories because I follow you, Moke and them. So I listen to everything. And I feel that that's terrible what happened to this young lady. And when people say Ypsilanti, I call it Ypsilanti because it's like city meets country.
Yeah. Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? You got country folk here, city folk here. It's like the suburbs of Detroit. But not really because we're real close to Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
So I wanted to call in so I'm a real human, real person, real woman, real partner.
How old are you?
Oh God, I'm 52.
Okay, you 52. You still young though. Okay. But you don't.
I'm talking to you, but I want
Okay. But you don't know the grandma. You don't know the mama.
I don't know the mama. I don't know the grandmama.
You don't know her. You don't know none of this family.
I don't know none of it. I'm so glad I don't.
Well, I can't say I know them now, but so I know who they know, and I know some of their relatives, but okay.
I wanted you to know that. Who knows if they're in the backyard? If they is, I ain't trying to meet them. But
Well, then, I've heard that it's a good family. I heard that.
Yeah.
They're good people, but I'm just wondering why the girl got on the stand and said it was daylight. And she said it was daylight when they got there, and it was daylight when they left. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm wondering.
No sense. On that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Ain't nothing like that happening in this town without nobody seeing it.
So we're wondering, did the girl even get there? Did she make it there?
I don't believe she did.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
Many people would have seen.
Exactly.
Too many.
See.
It might be small, but people would have seen, and people would have said something.
Right.
I ain't gonna tie up your line, but we've been subscribers here, me and Big T. We love you to death, and we want justice.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Ipsy-Tucky, lunch.
Ipsy. Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti. That's it. Ipsy-Tucky, Ypsilanti. That's all that.
Yeah, I done talked to about 4 or 5 people down there. Yes. I've been talking to them for 2 days. 4 or 5 people down there in that town.
Probably never rolled with them.
But I hear good things about this family.
Wow.
And so I don't have a problem with the family. I just want to know what, like, I want to hear from the horse's mouth. Was that baby there?
That's what we want to know. Yep.
And then people would be like, well, we don't want to get dragged. We don't want to drag them and all this stuff. That's how you get dragged, when you won't say nothing. And then people have to spend money to find people that know you. And then they they going to tell, if you put the right price on there, they going to tell it all.
That's it.
And then we'll know, what you did in your childhood, who got raped, and what your daddy did, and what your mama, and what pole you were slinging on and swinging on, and how many kids got taken from you. And that's when things start getting messy. That's why when people have these other channels and they doing what they doing, I say, leave them alone. Let them do what they do. Maybe they'll say something.
I'm a nobody. If I hear something over that bridge over here, I am close to that bridge where they be fishing like this mackerel or some goddamn salmon in that damn water. You said that was Frog Lake? No, Frog Lake, that's more downtown Ipsy off Michigan Ave.
Okay.
Over here by Ford, F-O-R-D, Ford Lake.
You over there by Ford Lake?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a way to get down to that lake?
That's right off Michigan Ave. That's a main strip. Lots of traffic.
But that lake ain't deep, though.
No, it ain't.
Because don't they go off into the lake like some of the people would stand off in the middle of the lake and cast their line?
All day long.
Yes. Yeah, that lake is not the that's I think that's only but like 3 feet high.
Yeah. It ain't deep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Justice, and I wanted to clear the air with you, so I ain't no zombie.
Okay.
All right.
I
appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you.
All right, baby.
All right. Man, we have been contacting and getting people from Ypsilanti to come and tell us, this is a small community, you guys. they really ain't got secrets. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you ever lived in a small community, everybody knows everybody. This is one of those college towns where it looks good from the outside and got all this chaos going on the inside. I mean, if you ever lived in a suburb little community, which I do, you know, it's as bad as in the city, but you know, you just don't know about it. That's all. You won't hear about it, but it do stuff be happening. Matter of fact, you know, I was reading this, and if you guys want to go look it up for yourself, back in 1959, Ypsilanti became famous for, there was 3 people, they did a search, research on, where they claimed that they were Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little education, because like I said, when we look for these kids, we find out what kind of spirit, nature, town we're fooling around with. We just don't, you just can't go up into a town thinking that, you know, because everybody looking like what you think they looking like, they supposed to look like a monster. You look like a monster and they look like Beyonce. You feel me? Straight monster. Beautiful as she is. I know some of y'all got bent what I just said, but I said what I said. But nevertheless, this town is known for this research that they did of these 3 men. And I can't remember the guy's name. I think his name was Mullen, Mullen or Mullan. Anyway, he brought these 3 men that says that they were Jesus Christ to Ypsilanti, and kept them in this, they were going to do this psychological experiment and see how they will behave. Anyway, nevertheless, all 3 of them was put in a excluded area, a room, you know, in some kind of facility, and they wanted to see how they were going to behave, which all 3 of them said that they were the real Christ. They were the real Jesus Christ. You guys, it's history. You better look it up. Okay? So anyway, nevertheless, you know, these 3 men, they thought, what was going to be the result of this experiment? Would it be, you know, one would bow down to the other one, or they would see how weird and crazy this is, that, you know, all 3 of you guys are saying that you Jesus Christ or whatever. And you know, they would have down knockout fights about who was the real Jesus Christ. Now, you know, they said that the experiment failed, but one of them died, psychiatric ward. The other one is still in the psychiatric ward, and one of them, the family came and got him. Now, do they still believe that they are Jesus Christ? Well, you know, one that died, I'm pretty sure he met his maker by now, or he's in the wait, whatever you believe. But you know what I'm saying? This is how this town got famous. This is why this town got famous, you know, for Ypsilanti, you know. And I thought to myself, why I can't never say this town's name? Is, you know what I mean? But this is how this town got famous, for its, not only, you know, back in the day, I said 1956, 1957. Look it up. You can find it by looking at 3 Christ, Ypsilanti, 3 Christ men or something like that. Ypsilanti, 3 Christ. You can read up on the story. Write it down. Some of you guys go back and verify what I just said. Just go write it down, look it up, read up on it. It ain't going to take you long. I know 90% of you won't read a book, even if, you know, it was the good book. You're just not going to read it. But read it up for yourself about this town. And they think this town looks great. They think this town looks beautiful. Oh, it's just so beautiful. You know, for it to be a college town, You know, they do got some nice places, but it ain't all that, you guys. It ain't all that. You know, it's just not all that. But nevertheless, King King said that they forgot a part. So that's why they went back. They went to the shop and they worked on this car. King said that he had somebody to work on the car, but the guy was busy. So he went and Googled it. He went and Googled how to put on this water pump. And they fixed the car. Now, I got a problem with that because King couldn't even figure out when Jarvis called him. And he says, the phone is in the back seat, behind the back seat, in the back, right in the middle. Now, the detective came on the stand and said they was listening to the phone calls. Y'all heard them. They was listening to the phone calls when Nay did the three-way. Nay did that three-way, y'all. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to call her in a minute. I don't care if she answers or not. I'm like a dog with a bone. Anyway, she calls the fiance and tells the fiance, she calls the fiance and Jarvis like, hello. And she's like, hello. I was wondering, I was like, why is he always saying hello, 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 hello? And then the voice changed a little bit. And then, I couldn't understand that. But somebody said, SP, you know why? Because he called this girl. And you guys know, let me share with you something that they have placed. If you don't know. When you're in jail and you take the phone call from an inmate, you cannot click over anymore. You guys understand that? There's no clicking over. So, the only way you can make a three-way call now, Google it. You can't do it. If you click over, the phone hangs up. They stopped that a long time ago. So the only way you can click, you can keep the person on the phone and you take the other phone and put it next to the phone and call them. There's no three-way calling people now. And it's been like that for a long time. So y'all quit saying it was a three-way call. It was not a three-way call. If I take this phone right here and call somebody and take my other phone, you got to have another phone and call them and put them together. You can talk to that person. Y'all do it all the time when you call in. Tina be on one phone, Zan be on the other phone, and y'all have full conversation. That's not a three-way call. But that's what was done. You guys understand? You guys understand what I'm saying? I can call Zen right now and call Tina, and they can have a full conversation. But it's not a three-way call because it's not on one phone. And that's what Nay did for Jarvis. See? We're always going to figure out a way to go get to what we need to. And he done already talked to this girl and told her, hey, I need you to call, he didn't say my fiance. He probably told her my sister or my cousin because he still said, I love you. She said, I love you too. But anyway, nevertheless, he kept on saying, go to mama, like that was his sister. That was not his sister. That was his fiance. But you see how funny? You see how he was talking? He was like, go to mama, drive mama's car. He was telling her in code Do not drive the car I use. Drive your mother's car. Yes, this is SP.
Hey, SP.
Hey, what's up?
So, I just wanted to let you know there are still ways to make three-way calls in jail. People do it every day. It's a matter of just talking through, so there are no breaks in the conversation.
Nope, I don't. I'm not with that.
You may not be with it, but I make three-way calls all the time for someone. It can be done.
I had nope.
Okay.
That's not what she did.
I'm not saying that's what she did. What I'm telling you is, and I'm sure anybody that's in the chat that's had a loved one in jail or been in jail will tell you three-way calls can be made if you know what you are doing. I don't know what was done on that phone call because I wasn't there.
No.
What I do know is that they can be made. There is a way around that particular system. That's all I'm saying. Just wanted to call and throw that.
The last time when was the last time that you made a three-way call for somebody that's in jail, in the county jail? Huh?
This morning.
In the county, in the county jail?
Yes.
Okay.
In the county jail. This morning. I do it like 3 times a week for someone. Because the other person does not have an ability to set it up. They only have a cell phone.
They have
set it up.
When you click over, it hangs up that phone.
You don't. As long as it hangs up because there is a gap in the conversation, but you cannot allow there to be a gap in the conversation. You have to continue talking even if you're not talking to anyone.
Oh, okay.
And the other person, whoever's making a call, and the inmate just continues talking, even if there's nobody on the phone. While the other person is...
Was he continuing to talk on the phone? Okay. All right. I'm going to get off of here.
Okay.
All right.
You have a good day.
All right. Okay. I didn't want to get into it about a three-way phone call. She could be right. That it seems like if she says she made a phone call, I'm not going to dispute it. I'm not on here to talk about a three-way phone call. I don't think that's how she did the three-way phone call. I believe that she did it, and we're not disputing that. But she made the phone call. Nevertheless, she made the phone call to the fiance. Let's not get distracted what we're talking about. Okay? She was just verifying that you can do it if you don't put no gaps in there with conversation. I got it. I wasn't trying to be rude or anything. I'm not mad or anything. It's just I don't want to get distracted off of the point. The point is she made the phone call to the fiance. Because I'm not no expert in that. You know? Like I said, she could be right. Because I'm not collecting no phone calls. I love my sister to death. But that's not the point. The point is, but I'm glad she clarified that. But thank you. Anyway, nevertheless, she made this phone call for him, and the girl ended up, he was saying that he didn't know what was going on or whatever. But when he was talking to the girl that he borrowed the car from, he told her I don't know what's going on. Just use your just use mama's car. Mama's car. Wipe down everything and da 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 da. When he talked to King, he spoke to King directly. He called King's phone, told him this, told him that. So, nevertheless, he said, King, the phone is in the back seat. And we was wondering, why would his phone be in the back seat of his fiancée car? Well, remember the fiancée took him to court. And he probably slid it back there thinking, oh, man, I'm going to use my phone as much as I can, trying to take care of all the business or whatever. I don't want her to have my phone. But it ain't really just about her having my phone. It's just really about anybody having my phone. You know what I'm saying? And so he put it in the back seat. Now, when he calls King and he asks King, to go to the back seat, in the middle, behind the back seat, his phone is there. King says that he looked for the phone and didn't find it. He did look, but could not find it. So when the fiancé was at the hospital, the police was listening. They pulled the phone call and was listening. And they went, got a search warrant for the car, got the car while she was in the hospital. She said they got the car when she was in the hospital. She was out the hospital the next day. Right. Yeah. King could not find this phone in the back seat. He couldn't find it. This is a man that put a water pump on a Jaguar. Y'all understand what I'm saying? He wants us to believe he put a whole water pump on a luxury car, but could not find a phone that was in the back seat. Did he even look? We don't know. Zena said King didn't try to get that phone, just like the fiancé didn't wipe nothing down. So they say. Because had they, let me tell you something, Zena, he probably did look for the phone. And he could have not. You're right, he could have not. But he could have looked. And he said, I didn't find the phone. But he know that he gonna say he looked because his fingerprints is all over that car. So of course he couldn't say he didn't look, because why would your fingerprints be all in this car? They never did have they said note that any of the cadaver dogs got any sense on any of the vehicles. So that's neither here or there. The dogs didn't smell death on the Chevy Tahoe, on the Nissan, the blue Nissan, on the Cadillac, and I don't know if they got the Jag. I wonder, did they even check the Jag to see would the dogs smell something in that? They just said all the cars. And that's where, we're going to have to wait until October or whatever to find out if they searched the Jag to see if there was a decomposition on the Jag. We don't know. But anyway, so that's number 3. Did King lie about searching for the phone, or Because he basically was like, whoa, you know what? He telling me to get this phone. I don't want to have nothing to do with this phone, because he in a bad situation. And, King could still be a little bit upset about the same girl that they dated because they said something about it in court. So King said that they went to Ypsilanti and the money wasn't right and somebody had to go to the ATM to get more money. Okay? Remember that. Let's go back a little bit. We got to go back because when they was in Ypsilanti, the money wasn't right. So somebody went to the ATM and got some more money. Surely they would have showed and told her, hey, this is how much money it costs to put this water pump on your car. And then when they went to the ATM to get money, they still didn't get enough money because remember, the girl got on the stand and said they had called King to get Jarvis's cash app because they still owed him $70 more. Now, I thought that y'all already went to the ATM. Surely they went to the ATM and you paid them. But the very next day, you called because you wanted his cash app to get him $70. So everybody's got a reason why they're calling, why they're going back and forth to the auto part store. Everybody got a reason. And everybody be like, but SP, they went back. The only reason why they seen Naziah, I get people call me and I get a little short sometimes, you guys. I get a little short, but you guys don't understand. Sometimes the things I hear makes me want to just wring somebody's neck. Usually the person that I'm talking to on the phone. So sometimes my mods get the blunt end of that because I just got no more patience. I've used all my patience on people saying, but SP, the only reason why, had they not been going back to get another part, they wouldn't have seen Naziah. Like, don't even call me. I don't even, get out of here. Like, what? Like, I don't even want to talk to you if you're that lame in the head. Like, no, I just really don't. I'm serious. I'm just being honest. And you guys don't even understand the frustration that comes out of me. Like, we juggle a lot of stuff. Zan and I, that was Zan that was on the phone a minute ago. We juggle a lot of stuff and we go back and forth. But we love each other. Like, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? She gonna correct me. And I'm gonna respect her. But we do that. We're not challenging each other, but nobody wants me, especially my big sister, want me to look horrible and bad. Don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't, like you, I'm telling you, shoot, I do got a hard head. But at the end of the day, you're going to tell me that this guy put on a water pump put on water pump. People like, well, that's possible because he Googled it. Yeah, it is possible. It's possible that they forgot something at AutoZone. But, okay. And is it possible that he didn't see Jarvis in the courtroom? Okay, you're telling me all of this stuff and you're telling me it's possible, SP, but it is possible, though. But it is possible. This is possible. I have to listen to people like that. So when I finally talk to somebody that got some sense, I'm already agitated. Because you're not telling me something I don't know. I do know it is possible. I'm saying, is it possible that all of these are lies? You don't want to see that. And that's why these people get out of going to jail. Because everybody wants to prove you're wrong. You're wrong. It's possible. That's possible. That's possible. Okay. So what? It's possible that they forgot something at AutoZone. So what? That it's possible that he Googled how to put on a water pump on a Jaguar, a luxury car, and they did it within 2 hours. But he couldn't find a phone. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible I can win the lottery. That doesn't make it that I'm going to. It's possible you're going to win the lottery. It's possible that you're going to have a baby today. No, it ain't possible, SP, because I haven't done anything. So, okay, see what I'm saying? Now that's distracting. So what is possible? I'm saying that when you see and know that a person has not only a history of looking at what they're saying is a lie, then you look at the whole equation. And sometimes you got to break it down into like ABC, 1, 2, 3, for people to understand. Without any distractions would be good. But he put a water pump on. Couldn't find the phone. They went back and forth to AutoZone to get a part. He didn't see Jarvis in court. And then he say, and you know, the funny thing about it, when they was talking to King in the courtroom and they were saying, okay, here's the weirdest thing that I couldn't understand. They was like, well, one of Jarvis's friends wanted to date his daughter. And Jarvis got mad about it. And he was like, he did. And he was like, did you know about that, King? And King said, yeah, I did know about all of that. It happened. He said, it happened. That's what he said. It happened. He said, but I was in jail. I was in jail when it happened. But he knew all about it. But it happened. But you don't know him when you see him in court. And then he turns around and says that his kids would come up all the time. And women would come to the shop all the time. And they would get in fights and things. He said it didn't happen as much at Frank's. But they would see his kids all the time. And you wouldn't see one without the other. But on this particular day, Naziah was by herself. You know what bothers me the most is, Freddie said, I learned early as a mod. Yeah. Because when there's not when the truth stands on its own, it doesn't change. And that's why when somebody says something, you could say all day that, okay, it's possible, or is it not possible, or whatever. So when certain things are said, a bell in your head, we talk about all these red flags and we can't even pick them up. And we in the chat and we can't even pick them up. Do you not know all the people that get information on this case? 90% of the information is not even worthy. You know that? They bring a seance on and people clapping, putting rods together, and then you got evangelists over here, and then you got this girl 20 years ago, and you know, like, talk to the people. And that's all we're trying to do, is talk to the people. that say, oh, you know what? I was a little nervous on the stand. So when I said it was daylight, I really didn't know. I didn't look. I figured it was still daylight because it was 5, 6 o'clock or whatever. And so that's what I said. And, I didn't go outside and walk them to the door or nothing. They took their money and I went on about my business. I really didn't look. But for her to say it was daylight out and daylight after, that bothers me. That bothers me. Anyway, so King said, they put the water pump on. He couldn't. So King said number 4. He couldn't. He looked for the phone and couldn't find it. Looked for the phone. He looked for the phone, but he couldn't find it. So that takes him off the equation of why his fingerprints is all in this girl's car. If he's supposed to be fixing this, fixing that, why is it all in the back seat and all this other stuff and all this other stuff? And he was like, just tell her you got to get this out. I had to get the radiator out and da 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 da. But King said when they got back, he had beats in his car, so nobody said nothing. Nobody said anything. That's crazy. So Naziah didn't say, I want some tater chips. I'm hungry. I got to go to the bathroom. They stopped at a filling station. Nobody got out the car but Jarvis and the Beats. And you got to remember, King driving. This is King's car. So Jarvis is in the front seat and she's in the back seat. They get back to the shop and she have to get out of King's car to get in Jarvis's car that they kept in the bay, because you don't want to leave your car out there in the parking lot. So she had to go in with them. And I don't know, I can't even remember what he said. He said that I know for a fact that they would not have left Jarvis's Escalade just sitting out in the parking lot with nobody there. They way in another little town. So his car has to be in one of those bays. So she had to come in with them and walk on through. And so King says that, they divvied up the money half and half, no matter what. And King left. And that was it. So King took himself out the whole equation. Yeah. He took himself out the whole equation. He didn't see Jarvis in the courtroom. The only reason why they were on that street where Naziah was at is because they kept going back and forth because they forgot something at AutoZone. You guys want to believe that? That's fine. He put a water pump on. If you guys want to believe that, he literally Googled and put a water pump on, but he looked for a phone in the back seat and couldn't find it. That tells me, oh my goodness. I'm not saying it's not possible. He can't put a water pump on because it's not in the motor. It's not in the transmission. So it's just like a screw in a boat or whatever, I looked up some things and I said, well, you might want to talk to somebody. And he said he did, whatever. Take this off, take that off, and put this on. Remember how you take it off and put it back on. King acted like he didn't know what keys Jarvis was talking about concerning the shop. Exactly. Well, Jarvis told him, you got the key, man. He was like, oh, I do. See what I'm saying? But this is the same guy that put a whole water pump on. He was like, I have my wife bring up the key. He was like, nah, man, if that's the key, I got the key. I just wanted to get some stuff and take to the scrap yard. You guys, And I'm just saying, we're trying to figure out, did this little girl, Naziah, even make it to Ypsilanti? Because Why would Talisha say that? Why would she say that? It's not her house. It's not her car. But they got her on the stand. Why? Why they got her on the stand? Not the person who owns the car, not the person who owns that house. And then she gonna say it was daylight when they got there and it was daylight when they left. I don't know how they got in the car because I didn't look. So you just let somebody just walk out the house and you never look to see them walk out? That don't make sense. You know, when people leave my house, I walk them to the door. I walk them to the door to make sure they get in the vehicle. I walk them to the door to make sure everybody that came in goes out. But you didn't even walk them to the door? I can't remember. It would have been better for her to say, I can't remember. You said Messiah. Who is Messiah Harris, Tina? Oh, my goodness. And so only thing I wanted to talk to this family about and not throw them underneath the bus is, was this girl really over there? And did she really leave with them and get that feeling if this child was there? Did somebody leave? Maybe there's something that you've seen, or the way that she acted, or was she holding her stomach like she was sick? Did she even look up? Did she look like she was being held hostage or something? They didn't ask all those questions, you guys. I'm not saying I'm better than the detectives. I'm sure that they did, and they will get to the bottom of it. And this is just a preliminary. So in the preliminary, you're not going to get all bits of the information. And did they search their house? Did they search their vehicles? Did they search around their house? Do they have a camera at their house? Anyway, because I'm going to say this, I don't believe that the police department has did a good job on this case. Okay? I don't believe that they have did a thorough job. When it comes to certain little kids of color, I'm just saying, they don't do a thorough look and search the same way they would do for Becky or Laura. They say they did this, they did that. They always want to say, we did that, we did that. We searched 7 or 8 times. Well, then why you didn't find them shoes the first time? Why would somebody have to call you and tell you those are my sister's shoes? Yeah, Nazia's brother had to call the chief detective on the case and tell her, those are my sister's shoes. This person say, I found these shoes. This person say, these shoes. But then the brother had to say, those are my, because we were looking for white and black shoes. You're down there in 7 Mile and Bird, and y'all combing the place, and the shoes have already been found 2 or 3 times. Until the 3rd time, somebody has to come to you and tell you about these shoes. This is why you go over and over and over and over stuff. Because if it was their child out there, they would have picked up every piece of shoe, every toilet paper, bags, everything out there. Shoot, they would have had a truckload of stuff to look at. But no, this wasn't their child. So the community has to ask these questions. And they have to ask the people that's involved, whether they want to be involved or not. They're involved. Not saying they're directly involved, but since this child had went to their house, they're involved. And I say it like this. If they're good people, let me tell you something about good people. Okay? I don't care what nobody say. This is the truth, and this is the whole truth. You can't tell me nothing. Don't call me telling me that I'm wrong. This is just the way it is. Kids is off limits. Okay? If that's true, and especially in the Black community, if that's true, when it comes to these kids and one of them come up missing, you supposed to tell what you know. You supposed to, if you don't know nothing, then say that. If you think that what you do know ain't nothing, then say that. But to sit there and be like, I don't want to get involved. You involved. And I'm going to tell you guys something else. And this is why sometimes I already know that people get exactly what they deserve. You know why? Because sometimes people don't listen until it happens to them. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Karma do has a place in this world. And that's what it's called. And then they be sitting there crying a river. Can you go look for Zuzu? Because Zuzu didn't come home? No. Just like you didn't want to look for Naziah. Until it happens to you or your child, that's when you want somebody. Then they be on TV talking about somebody knows something, say something. Shut up. Just shut up. You didn't want to look for a child because it wasn't yours. You didn't want to ask those questions. You sitting there, don't put my name in it. Just shut the freaking door. Put my name in it. I don't care. I said it. I sure did. I said it. Put my name in it. Yeah, I went and knocked on the door. Y'all see me down there in Texas. I'll be like, yeah, we're looking for this baby. What's your name? SP News Nuggets. That's what they call me. You can call me anything. You can call me Sonny. You can call me Sonia. You can call me Sheila. You can call me Sophie. You can call me whatever you want to call me. But I'm looking for this baby. Yeah. Oh, she wrong. She went. This is what other content creators came out and they said, and y'all heard it. They said, this girl talking about me, and they was trying to put a negative light on it. This girl went and rent a car, and I did, because my car may not make it there. So I took my hard-earned money, and rented a freaking car and drove all the way to Texas, walking down the street, knocking on doors. What the nerve she got. What? You're not embarrassing me. And if you really want to know something, I didn't tell them, I didn't tell you guys, but you guys know now. I was invited to go. I had a meeting with DB's mom. And we sit there and talked. Because if you ain't got nothing to hide, then tell me. I went straight directly to her house. That wasn't my first time down there. That was my second time down there. I didn't see her the first time. I said, if I come back down there, don't play with me. I will drag you. When people was like, SP, go to her house. I had already been to her house, had the whole interview and everything. Talked to her, recorded it and everything. Talk to the people on the block and everything. People, I'd be like, let's go to her house, SP. Go to her house. I didn't want to go to her house for what? I could have dragged that woman. Wasn't dragging her. Trying to get the people that really actually did something to that child, which we didn't get. Everybody, I mean, I'm not saying DB didn't do it. I'm not saying DB didn't do it. I'm saying, shoot, her son had a lot to do with that. And I'm talking about whatever that woman's name is that had them babies over there. And he planted that baby over there with DB. Y'all better ask somebody. So when somebody get mad at me talking about, you ain't saying nothing bad about DB. DB couldn't protect himself. He didn't even know how to spell his name. You know? Cash Garner. Exactly. And you better ask some people in this chat, because sometimes, especially Freddie, she was on the phone every time there was a transaction going through. The transaction wasn't them giving me anything. It was basically me giving to them. And I wasn't paying for interviews, you guys. A baby come up missing, you're going to wish you had a community that would back you up. But then what happens is people be like, oh, I don't want to get involved in stuff. As soon as their baby come up missing, what is that? I don't care about all that. When as soon as their baby come up missing, that's when they want to say something. That's when they want to say, well, black people don't stick together. We the only community don't stick together. But then people get mad. They be like, don't say my name. Don't put me in it. Don't throw them under the bus, SP. They good folks. I would have been on that stand saying, yeah, you want to call me to the stand and say that you brought this girl to my house? Why in the heck did y'all do this? Now you got me involved in some stuff I don't want to be in. Yeah, I seen her. Yeah, she was here. Yeah, she looked like she didn't really want to be with them. No, whatever happened. No, I don't remember if it was daylight. No, I don't remember what time they left. Only thing I do know is she was here. She sat there in that chair. We offered her some food. She wasn't hungry. They all left together. I walked them to the door. Say the stuff that we normally do. Make that make sense. Instead of always, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Anyway, you guys, King and Jarvis. King he's got to be covering for Jarvis. He's got to be. And did this baby end up in Ypsilanti? Everybody looking at it, doesn't make sense for him to have came back into town having a full day and just go out there to 7 Mile and Bird and just throw the stuff. See, at the end of the day, you guys, I look at one thing that does not make sense. And I'm going to tell you what that is. Here's the thing. Think about what I am saying. Okay, you guys ready for it? Everything that they found at 7 Mile and Bird, she was not wearing. Okay? She had them that day, but did they find her socks? Did they find her shoes? White and black or blue and white? Black and white or blue and white? No. Did they find her socks? No. Did they find her jeans? No. Did they find her underwear? No. Did they find the white shirt she had on? No. Did they find her jacket? No. What they found is a black hoodie. Not saying it's not her hoodie. It's got her DNA on it. I'm saying that everything that they found, it could have been in her backpack. Remember, she was playing in Jarvis's car, and when they went to go drop off the Jaguar, allegedly, I don't think she gonna bring her backpack with her. So her backpack could have been in Jarvis's car. So with her glasses in the backpack, in her hoodie. Remember, she was in the car for so long, it ran out of gas so she could stay hot. She got hot enough. She already have a jacket on. Why would she have a jacket, a hoodie, and a shirt? So she probably took off the jacket, the black hoodie, and put it in her backpack. So if she didn't make it back, all those things were in her backpack. So if they got rid of her or whatever happened to her, got rid of her, she's gone. But what about the stuff that was in her backpack? Oh, her backpack. He could have easily put that in. He's in a commercial area. He could have easily put that in a dumpster. Anywhere. A dumpster, you guys. A dumpster. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. The best way to cover up something is go across town and put it in a commercial dumpster or in another town. Why would you go to 7 Mile and Bird and throw it not even in the river? That means they wanted that to be found. They wanted that stuff to be found to make it seem like, because they're going to look for her. They're going to look for her to make it seem like somebody kidnapped her. Somebody abducted her. He probably forgot all about the backpack when something happened to her. Robert Leo says it did appear to be staged. DP. Who's DP? I'm SP. Yeah. And then that's why we have people that believe, and that's why there is always, yes, a possibility Shannon could be involved, because why would you want it to be found? Why would you want it to be found? Let me tell you something. If I wanted to lose something, if I wanted to hide something from anybody or somebody or whatever, I'm not going to go throw it by the lake or the river, because it's gonna come up, and then people gonna be like, oh, we got to search that lake, we got to search the river. It's forever and ever. We'll never find her. But do you not know that if you want to lose a person or get rid of a person, they would be trash? God says, I wonder what he did with her glasses that he snatched off the baby mama's hand. Yeah. And you see the detectives was trying to tell her, talking about, have you ever seen safety glasses before? And she was like, those are not it. That wasn't that. She just straight out was like, that wasn't that. And he like, oh, it wasn't. No, sir. That wasn't that. Those are the possibilities you guys bring to me all the time. Oh, that was a possibility. I'm just telling you what it is. And y'all want to argue about the possibility. It wasn't a possibility. It was a possibility, SP, that they were just going back and forth and forgot something that I was on. Okay. They always looking in the dumpsters too. But Zena, you know what? They waited a whole month. They waited a whole month. They didn't look in the landfills. They waited a whole month. And you got to remember, he took the car the first time. He didn't bring it back until the next day. And then he didn't even show up to work that next day. And he borrowed the car again. So he's not nowhere near in Detroit. He left Detroit. He could have went back to Ypsilanti and other places. Clinton Township. But people sitting there talking about, his phone pinged at 7 Mile and Berg. It did. He was there for an hour and a half. Matter of fact, let me look and see because I took a snapshot of it, you guys. So let me look in my photos. Because I was keeping stuff. Now I got to delete this stuff because we was looking at stuff and it was the wrong place. I said, God dang. It was the wrong place. Okay. We got here. Baby car seat. The car. And he was not. Everybody think he was good looking. He was not. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't all that, y'all. Frank's Auto Center. He's a broke down man. He couldn't have talked to me with his pants. I mean, he didn't have no style or anything. He was just a broken down man to me. It's sad. It's horrible. It's terrible. You guys, I be wanting to show y'all this picture of my baby. And Nazaya, y'all would say, SP, I see why you flipping out. You would say, I see why you flipping out. And that shoe was a size 5. That shoe was a size 5. Okay, so January the 10th, 11:40 to 11:59. He was only there 20 minutes. He was only there 20 minutes. On the 10th of January. It says he was there from January the 10th. He was there from 11:40 to 11:59. 19 minutes, 7 Mile and Bird. Let me see this other picture. He made on January the 9th at 8:22. That would have been, they just made it into town. He made 4 phone calls. Now remember, they make it into town. They dibbling up the money. Okay. 8:22 to 8:59. He made 4 phone calls, and he's at the shop. So he's literally 37 minutes at the shop. On the same day. On January the 9th at 6:38 to 7:23, he was on his way to Ypsilanti. Okay. 6:38 to 7:23. Phone record sheds light on Jarvis's Bud's location. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And what does this one say? I keep this stuff. January the 9th at 4:09. He is at his shop. 4:09. It says here, because people give me information say, you was wrong, SP, but I don't let people distract me. I just don't. We have to remember we don't know everything or all of the pings after that day. Exactly. January the 9th at 10:53, they have him at the Park Crest in. I think they said he checked in at some time, but they have him there at 10:53. See, those are things I like to keep. Okay, I just got this woman's name. So Latrice, I knew I was going to find it, you guys. Because I couldn't find her because I was spelling her name wrong. She filed April the 1st. She filed child support April the 1st, 2024. Shannon did it January the 10th. Shannon did it September the 3rd, 2013. She did it. She filed 2000. Why would she file child? Okay, she can do that while he's in jail for paternity. Okay. DP, March the 3rd, 2025. Last refresh. January the 10th, 2025. Filing date. Okay. We got our filing date on there. Okay. And that's all we have. Was any of Nazia's DNA found in the hotel? No. Nope, not that I know of. I still need to go back. Robert Leo, I still need. He checked in at 9:30 p.m. Yeah, that's what I thought. Then I thought he checked in at 9:30, and then like at 10:53, they still got him pinged at the end at 10:53. Any surveillance of Nazia and Jarvis entering the hotel together? No. Goddess says he checked in 9:30ish. True. You know, did Nazia enter the hotel with Jarvis? Nobody got no pictures of that, Robert. They don't have her. They don't have him and her. They only have his signature on the check-in thing. They didn't recover the videos in time. They've been recorded over. You know what I'm saying? So since they waited so long in gathering the information, by the time they went to the Park Crest Inn, those videos of everything has been already recorded over. That's why they don't have it. It wasn't that she wasn't seen or you know, they got that date, but the way that their camera surveillance is hooked up every 30 days, if you know, if they didn't need to save them it will just record over it. Was he made a phone call to the same number at 10:53 and he called 4:20 and 1:08 a.m.? Yeah. Yeah. But when he called her at 10:53, he was at the Park Crest Inn. Maybe he took her out at the shop, then went to the hotel to clean up. Maybe so. You guys, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, we've been on here for 2 hours, but I was just telling you guys how King and the family not making sense. And then when they do their testimony, they're not making sense. And, you know, people saying, you know, don't do this, don't do that, whatever, don't do this. You guys know, you know, shoot. See, I'm already searching and looking and trying to get information. When I do get the information, I'm not going to have mercy for somebody. I'm just not, because you have been notified that, you know, we want to talk and we want to hear what you got to say, you know. But since you don't want to, then we're going to hear what the community got to say, you know, and we will. And we will. No, first I gotta find everybody that I need to find, and you know, you just don't come out being reckless. And then after that, people be like, well, y'all got me all over here and all over there. I talk to some people and I don't harass them. I don't throw them underneath the bus. But you know, if they spoke to me and I'm like, okay, you know, yeah, you know, okay. That sounds about right. Okay. I understand. I get that. You know, we make sure, you know, we keep it professional. Did you see how pregnant Isaiah looked in the video I sent you? She appeared to be at least 8.5 months pregnant. I don't know, Robert. You didn't send me. I mean, what video you sent me? I don't see no video that she looked like she ate. She couldn't be no 8.5 months pregnant. She went to the doctor. She went to the doctor, you guys, in September. She was at the hospital in September. And they said, no, she's not pregnant. So when we start going and looking and searching and stuff, people get mad because, you know, oh, that's not true. Now you want to say what's true and what's not true. When we was trying to talk to you and ask you some stuff. Now we're going to listen to the neighbors. Now we're going to listen to your cousin, your fourth cousin. We're going to listen to Uncle Earl, the one that touched you. And now we know why you don't have a problem protecting these animals, these monsters. Hey, Soldier Girl, how you doing? It's all crazy, you guys. It don't make no sense. Zan had asked, I can't remember when she asked it. She said, remember when we used to do an all day? We be doing all day. We was on live 4, 5, 6 hours. We used to do 6, 7, 8 hour lives, you guys. We would just work it out. You know, like one night, I'm not going to do it tonight because like I said, my job is just, you know, I'm at a new job and I got to learn it and everything. And I'm doing okay, Soldier Girl. And but I got a couple of more leads. I've got 3 more leads I want to check out. And I know those leads can lead to leads and things. But once I get done checking those leads out, you guys, we might have to stay up and do an all-nighter or whatever. I don't know who can stay up, but we'll stay up, do an all-nighter or something. And I got to work this weekend, so it definitely won't be this weekend. Whew. SP, wasn't she was complaining about having to be PE while carrying a baby? She said something like that. She said it was hard doing this stuff with this baby. She also said she didn't want his problem. She said, I don't want your problem. What she was saying was that child, I don't want your problem. Because that's what it would have been to her. She's a child talking like a child. She wasn't talking like a grown woman or anything. She said she didn't want his problem. Meaning his problem is the baby. So they say. But they got a reason, and they could be just saying, all of this because has she be pregnant, why they not charging him with the other death? Because then they would have to prove she was pregnant. It's easy to prove if a person was pregnant or not. It's easy to prove it. If you got the blood, it's easy to prove, and they did not even say it in court that this girl was pregnant. Sometimes police say stuff to get people to talking or to be the sympathy. You remember on the California City Boys, and the defense came on TV. They went to the judge and they told the judge that the prosecutors were going on national TV trying to get the sympathy from the people of saying that they killed the baby. They killed Classic and Sincere. And it was not right. And they wanted the judge to tell them to stop doing that. Well, you had the whole community mad because they didn't even say, they didn't make it, they just literally said they killed the baby. That's what they did. And everybody's eyes just got big, and they was like, how would they just say that? I mean, then everybody just quit looking for the child because they literally just said they killed the baby. And everybody got mad. We're charging him with this and we're charging him, but they charged him with it. Here, but those were 4, 5, 6-year-old children. This is supposed to be allegedly in a womb, in the mama's womb. She's pregnant. So there's not a physically baby that you can see on the outside of this woman's womb. But by the blood by itself, you can tell if a woman's pregnant. And why they didn't bring it up in court. You see what I'm saying? You may not can charge him with killing a baby, but you can tell the judge the blood DNA shows that the child's DNA that we got, Naziah Harris' blood, shows that she was with child. It doesn't matter if she was viable or not. She was with child. You can still show she was with child. I didn't say charge him. I said you can still prove it by the blood that she was carrying a baby. You don't need the baby. You don't have to charge. Yeah, the viability is until 20 weeks. If she wasn't 20 weeks, they don't consider that a baby. They consider that an embryo. I'm just telling y'all the truth. And that's probably what's going to be presented. Yep, it's in the blood. You can't take it away. So why did they not tell the judge, Your Honor, the DNA of Naziah Harris has been proven to be her DNA, and the DNA is of a woman with child. Why we didn't hear that? Because sometimes they could say those things because she always said that she thinks she's pregnant. She thinks she's pregnant. And then he did have intercourse with her without a rubber. I got to go to work too, Tina. Not tomorrow, though. But you know me. I haven't ate dinner and it's 8 o'clock. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know what we're going to do. If we're going to make some. We got to eat. Star says, so that's why he only got 1 count of murder. Exactly. Exactly. All right, you guys. I'm going to get off of here. Go find something to eat. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We can chat about this tomorrow, you guys. I'll come on exactly about 1 o'clock. I'm not even going to wait till 3 o'clock. We'll come on about 1 o'clock. Won't be so late. And if we don't stay on that long, we'll come back on later on that night. But, I mean, if you over here and you want to come in tomorrow and you got something to say, I'm going to open up the platform tomorrow, you guys. You guys, I will invite anybody who wants to come on the platform. You guys can talk to each other if you want. And I encourage you to come on and talk to each other. Long as you have your phone, your earbuds on and your phone down low, or you can't be looking at the live while you're on because we don't want all that echoing. I have to butt you out. People get mad at me, but that's what I'll do. You know, we don't want all that echoing and stuff. It's such a distraction. It's just unbelievable. So, I mean, if, you know, we'll give you a little time to get it right. But I'm finna get off of here. Y'all get something to eat. You guys be good, be safe, be nice to each other, you know, and I'm going to do a little bit more searching tomorrow. Hopefully I can find exactly what I'm looking for. Like I said, you know, I don't want to put out misinformation. I just don't. But hey, you know, I will find what I'm looking for because somebody always going to talk.